welcome to Crafty Little Things. I'm Andrea, and today I'm just going to show you quickly how to make, somebody actually asked me to show them how to make a box for a card kit. I used to send my card kits in boxes like this, but then I started using the envelope punch board, which just made life so much easier. Excuse my hands, they're covered in glue from my last project. I have done a blog post on card kits if you want to have a look at it. Just explaining what you can and can't include, if you're a demonstrator, what you can and can't include in a Stampin' Up stamp kit. And because I was told, I've made kits, crafting kits for a long time, different other crafts, and I was told all sorts of different information. So I contacted demo support and asked them what is the deal on card kits, what can you include, what can't you include, and they told me. So basically you can include anything that's consumable, so papers, cardstock, glues, embellishments. You can't include stamp sets, you can't include stamped images, stamped current images, you can't include die sets, you can't include a big shot, things like that. So you can only include those, but you also have to remove any Stampin' Up packaging. So if you included like a packet of dimensionals, for instance, they couldn't be in the original packaging. If you included a spool of ribbon, it couldn't be in the original packaging. Okay, but anyway, if you go to my blog post, the full details there, because where it gets a little bit weird is if you're selling kits online for an online class, or if you're selling kits for an in-person class. There's a little bit of a difference between what you can and can't do with regard to stamp kits. If you're online, you cannot sell a stamp kit a stamp set as part of a kit. You can't include the price of the stamp set as part of the kit price. So it's quite strict there. But anyway, go and have a look, because it's there quoted what I was sent in an email, and that will help you clarify and make sure that you're sticking within the rules. And if you're a customer, it'll explain why demonstrators can't include certain things in their stamp kits if you're feeling like you're missing out on something. Right, so what I do is, my card kit measures about 5 by 5, so I'll leave a little bit of room in case I want to stick anything else in. And I wrap my kit, I put my kit in a cellophane pouch, sealed pouch, and then I'll put this box then into a poly bag, so it's nice and secure. I also slot in a piece of card so that it doesn't bend. Okay, and you can even wrap it in bubble wrap or something if you want as well, just to make sure it gets to the recipient in one piece and everything's usable. Right, so on the envelope punch board, it tells me that for a 5 by 5 card, I need a 8 1/8 by 8 1/8 piece of paper. I always use retired Stampin' Up for my boxes, for card kits, always. And if I run out, which I've never done yet, but if I did run out of retired Stampin' Up, I'd just use something plain. I'd probably just use Whisper White or something. So anyway, but you're never going to run out, because you can buy stuff from the retired rack. Even if it's a Christmas themed paper, for instance, just turn it around and use the other side. There's always a side that isn't Christmas themed. Right, so 8 1/8. So what I want is, I want a half inch depth to my box. So what I did was I made my paper 8 6/8. So that's what it measures, 8 6/8 by 8 6/8. And then it tells me to pop it in at 4 1/8. So that's what I'm going to do, pop it in at 4 1/8, punch and score. But rather than just stop there, I'm going to move it across 1/2 inch and punch again. So if I'm moving across 1/2 inch, I'm moving to I'm moving to 4 5/8. Okay, and then I'm going to score again and punch again. Then I'm going to turn around and line up my little guide thing with my score lines, punch and score. And if you're not sure what I'm talking about, can you see there my little knobbly guide thing? And when I turn my paper around, I'm lining up that score line, whoops, with that knobbly piece there. Okay, so line up the score line, punch and score. This is so easy. It's one of the easiest ways to make a little sort of deep envelope. Essentially, that's what we're making. And if you're making a box that's like a deep envelope, why not use the envelope punch board? And all you need to think, you can make this as deep as you want. So say it was a 3x3 box and you wanted to be 2 inches deep, you just follow the measurements for a 3x3 box, add 2 inches, punch and score where it says, move it along 2 inches and do it again. And that's all you do. It's so easy. So, whoops, sorry about that, whacked my tripod. I'm hoping that I've solved, then just fold and burnish these. I'm hoping that I've solved my wobble issues, because my camera has been wobbling. So I've done a couple of videos and I haven't checked yet, so I'm hoping that I have. I think what my problem was, this autofocus thing that I've got on my camera. But I also think another problem was that my tripod, I use an inverted tripod, and because I have a camera that's permanently attached to my tripod, I don't take it down, and so I don't have to faff from a tripod, but it's on my table all the time, and I think it was just really, really super sensitive. Right, so fold and burnish all of those. If you want to, you can use the back of the envelope punch board and round off your edges. This is the only corner rounder you'll find in Stampin' Up. I mean, there are other ways to round a corner, but excuse my phone. Right, it's probably my son telling me he's on his way home from work and starving as usual. That's usually the communications we get. Right, so choose one side, and these little tiny little corner pieces here, see these? What you want to do on one side is take them out altogether. Just get rid. And then on the other side, get rid of that as well. And now on the opposite side, turn it around, you just want to cut down to the first score line on those two little tiny little pieces, which are going to be tabs, believe it or not, and they're tiny. Our paper recycling box has been full to bursting this week, because I've been making so much stuff and I've been sorting so much stuff out, and I like to use my scraps as much as possible. I've got a craft fair, easy craft fair projects series running at the moment, and that's a few of those projects have used up lots of scraps. I'd much rather use the scraps than put them in the recycling, and I'd much rather put them in the recycling than in the bin. I could never throw paper away to go into landfill. That's like so sacrilegious to me. I think, you know, I might have grandchildren roaming this planet one day who want to be able to breathe like I've been able to. And no matter what you think about global warming and stuff like that, it's a fact that we shouldn't really be, in my opinion, we shouldn't really be destroying the environment. I think we should don't think we should do anything, you know, stop doing things that we enjoy doing, but just be a bit more responsible. I'd hate to just never use paper again because it was seen as un-PC or whatever. But at the same time, I'd hate for future generations to not even know what paper is. So it's about, for me, it's about taking that little bit of responsibility where you can and popping it in the recycling bin. Simple. I mean, we're lucky we have recycling bins given to us to use for that purpose. So that's it, bit of glue and it's all stuck down. Some perhaps controversial views on recycling and the environment. Oh well, throw in a bit of politics, why don't you? And the card kit fits in there beautifully, and then I'd use a little sticker with my people who get my card kits or any of my craft kits get a sticker with a little code to a private blog post that gives them some ideas on what they can do with what's in the kit. It's like a private tutorial. Isn't that so pretty? And also, obviously, you can make these same things for, you can use this for cards that have got a lot of relief on them, especially this time of year. You might be making really elaborate cards, or for little wallets or gifts. So, yeah, they're really cute. And like I say, use up scraps, make them Christmassy if they're Christmas kits, make them flowers and romance if they're for Valentine's. Sorry about that. I just got a little bit of a frog in my throat. They're just so easy to make, and obviously if they're for gifts you can add some gift tag, sentiments, embellishments, wrap ribbon around, do whatever you like. Okay, hope you enjoyed that and found it useful. And remember that blog post about, my hands are so dry, that blog post about what you can and can't include in the Stampin' Up craft kit is live on my www.craftylittle.blog.com right now. See you soon. Bye bye.